Oh, snap. We're live.
Oh, back at it.
Okay, this is episode number 20, guys. This dungeon.
Ooh,
How you guys feeling today? How you feeling today, Joe?
feeling good. It's going to be a little bit down because it's pouring like crazy and it seems like a dreary day. And, you know, typical per this time of year with the bad weather is coming up from the south, spreading bad blues and wings on a dream.
All right, so now we talk about the weather.
Yeah,
On this,
it's everything. This is the compass all. It's important.
Guys, so we have an episode today. The episode is called To Those We Lost.
Mm-hmm.
We have special guest Luo Llamas chilling in the back with us.
Yeah, that we don't have a stalker. That's an actual guest. We're super excited to have him here. Really chill dude, rapper.
Yeah.
From Brooklyn.
From Brooklyn, New York. Currently residing in Chicago, Illinois.
Chi-town.
Doing his music thing, man. He's gonna be in our behind the beat section.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the mic is good.
My mic's good.
My mic's good too, yo.
Yeah, it's just
we
my-
comparing mics now.
No headphones. No, I can
All right, guys. So last week, Joe
Mhm.
put me on to.
Mudvayne.
Okay.
The end of all things yet to come.
Exactly. So this album, what we realized when we both put each other on, that we put each other on to very heavy albums. You know, we're talking about heavy guitars, screaming. You know, some like melodic vocals too. And the reason why we named this episode To Those We Lost is partly, majorly in part, for what Lou is going to offer. Lou is going to talk
Yeah.
about one of his songs to
Mhm.
somebody close to him who has recently passed away. Mudvayne. This album, The End of All Things to Come, released in 2002. I'll tell you right off the bat, I did not enjoy the vocalist
No, he's a little bit heavy.
too much. No, I mean, I don't mind heavy, but it's just my opinion, guys. The instrumentation though was crazy, and it was empowering, and it made me want to just
Gives you a really big uplift.
bang things around.
Man, I wanted to bang.
Yeah, I just want to bang. But honestly, the most interesting about this album was something that came up while I was doing some research. And there's 13 songs on the album. 12 of those songs correlate with the 12 zodiac signs. So, the first song is called The End of All Things to Come. And this is attached to Aries. Aries being represented as leaders, usually first to do things, very straightforward. They're also very generous, and this song, the attachment they're trying to make is that this song represents that character.
Mhm.
And if you keep going down the list, some of them were a little, because these are theories, and some of them were kind of stretching. Some of them were pretty spot on. Taurus was trapped in a wake of a dream, representing just the struggle that this person is going through, but as a Taurus, they pretty much can overcome anything with sheer willpower. Gemini, Shadow of a Man. That was the name of the song, Shadow of a Man. And this one was straightforward, since Gemini is represented usually by this duality of two people, or two yin and yang, or everything within that nature. They're talking about the shadow of a man, essentially, this person's shadow, and wherever they go is their shadow. Cancers are known to be emotional creatures, and the name of the song is called World So Cold.
That's one of my favorite songs on the album.
Yeah, that one was
Yeah,
good. That one was good, and it represents the and that one was pretty clear. The title I could assimilate it to Cancer. Leo is Not Falling, and I think the theme here was, Leos they're the dreamers. They're the ones who have the rose-colored glasses on and always see the beauty in things, and they're just simply not going to fall. They're not going to let themselves fall into society, the world, the darkness. We have the patient mental. So instead of the mental patient, the patient mental. And this one is Virgo. That one's pretty cool because Virgos are very analytical. They're very detailed minded. But because of that, they could also get very lost in minute things as opposed to seeing the bigger picture. Silenced was the next song, and that one represented Libra. Libra is all about justice.
Yeah.
So you can't silence justice, right?
Can't silence Joe.
And we're we can't silence the pigeons.
No, hey, Dove.
Dove is just a prettier way to say pigeon. You know that?
Yeah, totally.
Okay.
That's what I keep telling myself.
That was definitely a jab at him.
That's
so,
all right, babyface. I brought you some. I know you're going to be spending a lot of time developing your business here, so I figured I'd bring you some shoes to help out with your new baby face. So, I make kid shoes for a living, so I brought you some, and I just wanted to show you little dinosaurs.
They got little dinosaurs because my hands?
Yeah, your little tiny hands and baby feet with your baby face. We used to have sexy mustache, man, and now we have just Julian.
Guys, the honest truth is that I messed up while trimming my beard, and
it happens.
Say hello to Julian 10 years ago.
Yep.
Scorpio's song was called Scrying, and at first I didn't know what scrying meant, and I looked it up, and it's actually it's kind of like a ritual. It's a word that refers to a ritual. And again, I think that matches very well with Scorpio. Scorpio being attached to darkness and rebirth a lot. This song is very aggressive. It's probably my favorite one of all. Just the drop that it had was really cool. It just, I could see that. This, it was a lot of aggression and cursing. And, and Scorpios, they're known for revenge too,
They plotting.
The next one you need to pronounce for me.
Solve et Caligula.
Okay, so that is the next song, and that was attached to Sagittarius.
Right, because that is actually a Latin translation of dissolve and congeal. So you destroy something and then you rebuild it.
Yeah, and Sagittarius are huge. They're usually known as the adventurers, right? Because they always kind of feel trapped in a box. And they feel like they need to get out and see and explore and learn the truth of things more. So definitely, I see the connection there. Capricorn was attached to the name of the song was Perversion of a Truth.
Oh, that's a fun one too.
And Capricorns, they live in the light. They live in truth. They, you know what I mean? I don't want to say unbiased because everybody's unbiased, but if you want to find one of the most unbiased peoples or archetypes, they would be Capricorns. Aquarius was mercy, severity. Aquarius is the rebels. They're the revolutionaries. They're the ones who feel like things need to get reform. You know what I mean? Reform needs to happen. They're the humanitarians. They're the ones who believe in mercy. They also believe in the severity of justice and in compassion, but in also just anarchy as well. That there's a juxtaposition there, but they're always in a sense living in the future, living in what and how things should be as opposed to how they are. And then the last one, Pisces, is called A Key to Nothing. And so as I was looking at the lyrics, and obviously I'm a Pisces, guys, so this one I obviously paid a little more attention to.
Really?
Yes.
Bias again, hey? No.
I mean, this is the show. The show is This Dungeon Biases. A Key to Nothing, and I mean, it made sense in terms of the words, that Pisces in general tend to live in this between two ethereal, between reality, the physical world, and like another ethereal plane where they're constantly in both, and in a sense they have the key. They have the key to both worlds, but in the end, it's nothing, right? In the end, it's everything and it's nothing at the same time, and it was a cool concept.
Yeah. Now, what folks are missing now in the digital age is the actual album itself. Every one of these songs has the moniker of the basic the astrology sign. Mm. So this artwork, really cool. I've been scouring on the internet, learning about a lot of their fans. And a lot of people actually have tattooed the album cover on their backs or chest or something like that. It's actually a really big tattoo for people because it's such an intricate design that people gravitate to, and because of the different zodiac signs they want to encompass it all, and it kind of like converges on everything. And there is a line in that that song about dissolve and congeal.
Mm.
That is a nod to Bahamut, the demon. So they did a lot of, even though this is a rushed album, just, and they were pressed just like A Day to Remember with Homesick, which I found to be a really interesting connection. They still put a lot of thought into it and came out with a badass album. So I was glad to put you onto this in Mudvayne. You're going to find a lot of strangeness and a lot of experimental music in Mudvayne when you listen to their other stuff. They are no longer a group. They have disbanded several years ago. So unfortunately, what's out there is it. You're not going to get anything new. Unlike some of the other artists like Supreme Beings of Leisure, who are dropping an album next year. So I'm super excited about that.
Yeah, we talked about them last episode, guys, in episode 19.
Yep, Mirrors. So I'm going to go and get into the... Oh, what's your rate for the album?
My rating for the album would be... I feel like it would be a 6 without the concept of the astrology, So I would give it a 7 overall because of the fact that they did put that thought into it. But
and they only did it in a month.
They did it in a month. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's,
and I think the reason why they weren't higher on your list is because the vocalist is a little bit too much for you. Is that what it was?
I just didn't like his voice. I mean, it really is that.
And that's a singer's bias. Is that what?
I guess that's what it is.
Yeah.
But that's my. I know that's why I like.
That's your preference.
That's why I like this show. But
yeah,
because the thing is that when I put you onto, you could even say that it's pretty. That at certain times the vocalist is similar.
Yeah.
But there was just something about what it could be too. Also, it was something about the overall production of his vocals that I felt maybe could have been better.
Mm-hmm.
They used a lot of phaser in his voice. That kind of.
What's a phaser? From Star Trek. Set the stun.
Phaser is an effect that you can use on anything but you can put it on vocals as well, and it kind of gives you kind of like a. Sometimes it sounds like your voice is multiple voices, at times, and it kind of but it's all blended. It just wasn't. Yeah, it just wasn't my preference.
All right,
that's it.
I'm fiddling with something.
That's nice.
Yep.
Great. During the show.
I just making sure I don't lose my notes, man. I don't want to be and then I felt that, I get stuck out there. All right, so you put me on to A Day to Remember and their album Homesick.
Yep.
Now, I found a lot of interesting parallels. You have very similar vocalists. The guy from Mudvayne, slips my mind right now, the lead singer there has a very restricted voice, I always found. It's kind of like he's trying not to go too hard in order to rip his vocal cords as he's singing. Whereas the lead singer from Homesick, Tom Denny, he has a Blink-182 sound. He's the band is like Blink-182 on steroids. They're a nice mixture. If you took Mudvayne and you took Blink-182 and then you Kiss, that's what you would get with this band. Their sound is really cool. It's a nice amalgamation of heavy metal and punk and a little bit of jazz. Like I said, similar to Mudvayne, with a throw to Mark Hoppus from Blink-182. Definitely a band I would have gotten into, especially when I was in high school, leaning into college. My favorite song from this album, and I'm not going to go into every song because there's no parallel to astrology, so I just feel like talking about the songs that stood out the most. I'm Made of Wax, Larry. What are you made of? Totally badass. Heavy drums, screaming that blended well into the song. The production value was good because it's very clear and there's no random cusses or screams. It just didn't feel like it blended into the album. But it definitely reminds me of, like I said, when I went to high school and my friends used to hang out together and put on music like this. Now, yes, we partook in the devil's lettuce. But my buddy Mark Fabella, who's a untapped talented singer from PA now, but he would absolutely love this band, I think. He's actually a famous photographer now, which is fun. And this is totally something that we would be rocking to in his car. He was like one of the earlier friends to get a whip at the time. So this album I found to be interesting because it was various vocalists. They had a lot of guest vocals, and I couldn't tell.
Yeah, you can't really tell.
You can't tell, but I mean the last song, yeah, you could definitely tell that's not him.
Yeah, there was.
I mean, woman.
It was the only female vocalist.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, wait a minute, that's somebody different. But I love various artists.
Yeah.
Like Morchiba, Dive Deep was like that.
Mm-hmm.
I listen to a lot of. I follow Jerry Serrano Lightwood because I absolutely adore her voice.
Yeah.
And she's guest starred on like 6 different albums lately, and even appeared on Delirium's last album, Mythology, with Ghost Requiem. So I definitely like that because I like the tricks into the different voices. So it was definitely nice to get that little break from the same artist. So one of the guests was Mike Haranka from The Devil Wears Prada, Vincent Bennett from the Acidia Stain, and Sarah Custerbeck, and she's in Versa Emerge. And that last song was really sweet, and I guess a lot of the other vocals were just like backup, maybe some of the screamings.
Yeah.
But like I said, the fun connection with Mudvayne is like Mudvayne was pressed to do that album in 1 month, and these guys did theirs. In a short amount of time, but they were actually in the middle of touring.
Yeah, they were
doing this album, so that was like a really cool.
Hence the name of the album.
Homesick. Yeah, and especially that last song, It Means a Lot to You. It's so like the album is very uplifting and upbeat, and it's like rocking and heavy, and I really like it. And it kind of like it transcends you to out of your lull mood and into your focused and rock out mood, and then it comes to a halt with the. It Means a Lot to You. The last song is a very sweet song with a flip that I didn't expect. It threw me off, and I just thought it was just going to be like a mellow end to a very heavy album. It just kind of like spruced up at the end of the song. It was like, oh, okay, we're back. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, it was very fun. It was very fun. Welcome to the Family was another song I liked, and that features a recording of the Andrew Wade's Heartbeat. And that's at the end of the track, and they did that because it's an homage to. It's actually a song that was split into 2 pieces, and they put it on another album, and that's an homage to some of the people that they lost. McKinnon from this group actually lost 2 family members, and writing this song helped him relieve the pain. And a lot of music is therapeutic. I can relate to that with a lot of the music choices that I have because, unfortunately, growing up, I had a lot of relatives that passed away when I was younger. And, in my later years, I've been losing friends and family, virus or not. But my grandmother would have been 90 this weekend. Tomorrow would have been her 90th birthday. And my grandmother was probably the biggest influence in my life as a person. Like I jump around. I'm very lively. My grandmother was also lively, but she was also very calculated and calm. She's a Cancer. I don't know if that fits into the realm, but
okay.
She's the one that taught me how to cook. She's the one that would pick me up from school, drop me off when she was driving. She was the biggest arc in my family. She was the glue that kept us together, and she was the beacon that kept us true. So, her passing was probably the toughest experience of my life at that time. And, I listened to, not Mudvayne, but I listened to heartbeats and things that are appearing in music, like Pink Floyd did that. And it's fun to hear little tidbits like that. And even spoken word at the end of one of the other songs really struck a chord with me because I really appreciated and understood like the power of music's therapeutic aspect of dealing with loss. So
yeah,
it was really great. It was a great album. I'm going to give it a 9 actually, because the Blink 182 really threw me back, and I was like, I'm literally picturing myself in my boy Mark's apartment listening to Blink 182. and then going, hey, take a look at Mudvayne, you know. So I really felt like the connection to
As you're passing the devil's lettuce.
Yes. Hey, wait.
Hey, check this out.
Check this out, man. It's Bahamut, and then rolled up in a blunt. So, yeah, and that.
You know, it's interesting that this episode.
You okay?
No, yeah, I'm good because I'm just. No, it's interesting this episode because I personally, I have never really lost anybody close to me,
Mm-hmm.
and you know I'm 30 years old now, so
coming
I'm
up on
not
that time.
old, but I've gone a pretty long time without experiencing a death that was close to me. You know, I mean, I've had a grandfather die, but again, somebody who wasn't really in my life. So it was different. It was family, but it was different. So it's interesting for me because I empathize and I know the weight of. I mean, I think I know the weight of that experience, but I wouldn't be able to fully empathize until it happens to me, and it will. You know,
Yeah.
it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen
The
multiple
constant-
times.
The constant in life are death, love, and taxes.
Damn.
Yeah.
It's kind of sad though.
It's true though.
Taxes.
Taxes.
Oh man.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to throw that in there because you know it's just a little contrast, you know, and we have Lou here today, and you know, aside from listening to his beautiful music,
Yeah, you guys are in for a treat.
yeah, I think he can also relate a lot to death at the moment, and you know, this brings us to our third segment at this point, right? Because I think we already went through
Yeah, we
Music
went
Saved
through
My
the-
Life.
Yeah.
Yeah. So at this point, we have Behind the Beat. And in Behind the Beat section, we usually talk about the music that Audios, the company that I'm a part of. As you guys know, it's me, Henry, Joel. Joel is the producer of this episode.
Yep. Mixed master from UK.
Exactly. And actually, special guest next week because I'm going to be on vacation, guys.
Yeah, get ready. Joel, he picks up cows. Blancanos is going to be here.
Blancanos.
Blancanos. I'm making it up.
Polanco.
I've known him for like
Polanco.
over 20 fucking years, and I still get his last name wrong.
Still can't
No
get his
offense,
last name.
no offense. You can edit that out, Joel.
Blancanos.
Blancanos.
But yeah, so we have in the Behind the Beat section today, we have Luo Llama. He is a rapper, and he has a very MC style of rapping. The music that he chooses is very. He has some aggressive tunes, but he's, you know, honestly, what he's telling you stories in his music. So he really stays true to the storytellingness of rapping as opposed to just punchlines or, you know, other styles. So we're gonna bring Lou up right now. Give us 1 second, Lou. So because of a lack of a third mic,
Yeah, I'm working on that.
we're working on that. We'll be sharing a mic. So Lou, I guess some of the questions we have is just, you know, introduce yourself a little for the audience and tell us a little bit about what your goals are as a musician, what you're currently doing, and anything maybe you've done in the past noteworthy.
Alright, I'll start to say my name is Luo Llamas. That's my rapper name. It's my MC name. Where I'm from Brooklyn, New York. I was raised in Brownsville, Ralph Avenue, St. John, Stern Place. People are familiar with that and stuff. I'm Mexican, Native American, Ecuadorian, and this is my year to do hip hop. I started this year as opposed to like years before because I felt like it was time to do something big. I'm 26 just now. I was 25 then.
Wait, you're 26.
Yeah.
Get you these baby shoes too.
Oh man.
Go ahead, my man.
The reason I wanted to do hip hop is because, well, I like to write poems and stuff, and it started in 10th grade where one of my teachers would make us write poems for like the whole semester, and I felt like my wordplay was good. I like to use like words with images, and you can see it in your head and things that people relate to. My journey with hip hop began just like freestyling with my friends, you know, passing the devil's lettuce, like you said.
Hey.
You know, those days, mom's is out, and we just go to my friend's house and smoke and listen to beats and stuff. And it really took into a more charge as of last year because a lot of things went on last year, and I wanted to write music to like not give up on yourself, or like if you're going through hard times, there's always a song for it or something out there for you. you know.
So you're basically a therapist, and music is your therapy session.
Yeah, it's a way to express myself.
Yeah.
Like Julian said, what he said? He said that I like to tell stories, and that's what I like to do with hip hop, to tell stories, different stories or viewpoints of like things that happen, things that we go through, and like me from the hood, I seen a lot of things growing up, you know. Alicia K says, what's this? What's the thing she said? The concrete jungles where dreams are made of.
Yeah. Concrete
Yeah.
jungle where dreams are made of. Yeah, New York,
I mean,
baby.
New York, there's the side that you get to make your dreams, and there's a side that is just concrete jungles, you know. And like sometimes that story's not really told, and sometimes people die young before they become like a figure, or before they become someone that they could be. And like some of my music is like that, to stop like us from killing each other as minorities as we do, and like to stop violence in general, and to understand each other, because we lose people. Everyone loses someone. Like the feeling's different. I mean the feelings that I said it wrong. Alright, we lose people in different ways, no matter what. Like we lose people.
That's
in
not the
different
devil's legislation. So we lose people in different ways.
But the feeling is always the same. That feeling in our chest, the memory, the displeasement, the
Yeah.
anger. It's just
Anguish that kind of lingers on after the
Yeah,
person's
yeah,
gone.
yeah.
Yeah. There's nothing more painful than losing somebody that's very close to you. Even friends. When I was a child, a buddy of mine was shot down on the block behind where I live. And he was a footballer. He was really good at it. And I mean, he was actually the person that got me to listen to hip hop again. I was so I'm older than you, and unfortunately I could be your dad. No. And one of the artists I really liked was KRS-One. Have you ever heard of? Probably not. I'm older. This is the 80s. Anyway.
no bad.
Yeah, no, good. But you know, his lyrics at that time are still resonate today, because the bridge is over, about the Brooklyn Bridge, and the death of Scott LaRock, one of his bandmates in KRS-One. Music is it goes beyond the tangible. It's not something you can grab unless you have a CD, but you know, the sound assets to your pain, and they're almost like reaching out and hugging somebody. So I feel like, even hearing some of the lyrics from the pieces you played for me earlier, I feel like you're reaching out and giving somebody a hug, but metaphorically, not physically. It's been one of the most transcendent things I find for music.
Yeah.
What do you think that would be your biggest influence for your music? Who besides like Alicia Keys, like who do you think would be?
Like me, I like music all over in general.
Mhm.
So I could say for like alternative rock, Red Hot Chili Peppers. You know, he was going through some things. Anthony Kiedis would always
Mhm.
sing. You could feel the emotion through the songs, like "Soul to Squeeze" and "Under the Bridge," or "The Other Side." As for like hip hop, Eminem shows very graphic sides of himself, like "Just the Way You Are," or that song "Kim" when he's like talking about his wife, or even "Stan." You know, it connects to people. Like people go through depression, and like the song "Stan" was him saying, "Hey, I'm your biggest fan. Please write to me," and stuff. You know, because it really touched him. He says like you could relate to what you're going through and stuff, and like everything, all types of music just connects to each other, and it makes you feel like at home, or it makes you feel like you're with them on stage or in the sound studio, and it's like, yo, this is me right now, and you're singing for me, you're singing for you, but for other people they feel like they're singing for like them directly because of what they're going through. And
It's not heavy on you, is to like know that you're going to be ultimately a therapist for millions of people. No pressure.
I feel like I want to be a therapist for people, because some people don't get to listen to certain songs, and certain songs aren't played. Like nowadays, everything's hype beat and like pumping up and stuff. Like yes, I will make some music like that, like, because you know I like to enjoy life too, but certain things is like messages that we could relate to. Yo, we're from the hood. Yo, what it's like to lose someone, gang violence, growing up in the hood, being a civilian, watching things grow up when you're like 4 or 5 years old, and it affecting your life as an adult and stuff, you know.
Yeah,
Like,
no, I totally understand it. So there's a song that you have that's dedicated to a friend that was murdered, or
yeah.
tell me the story about that.
So one of my friends, and we knew each other for like uh, about a year plus, but it doesn't matter how long you know someone. It's like the connection you get. Like I seen him like every day. We used to chill with him, me and my cousin, smoke every day, crack jokes. Me and him were like the biggest drinkers. So we would always like try to outdrink each other, like
Wow,
like ha ha ha
I
type of
can't
stuff.
do that anymore.
We would go to like two bottles or three bottles a night and
Wow.
just like knock out next to each other and stuff.
You good?
Mm-hmm. Pretty fun.
Oh,
Yeah.
So this song is about my friend, right? He was a good person, he was a nice person, and he was affiliated in certain things and certain aspects in life, and he died June 26th as of this year.
Oh, this is
And
recently.
yeah,
Oh my
recently,
God.
recently. He was one of the persons that came to see me before I left. He spoke to all my friends. He was like, "Yo, this is my little brother. I love him. I love Luo Llamas. Llamas is my boy. Anytime anybody has a problem with Llamas, I'm always there for him." And it's true. In my songs, I say, he stood tall, ready to brawl. For his homies, he would not fall. It wasn't just law. It was his law. It was his law, because that's the type of person he was. He would always be there for his friends.
So a dedicated guardian as well as a friend. So somebody that's not only going to be there just for you physically into altercation, but somebody that's going to be there emotionally too. So this
Yeah.
is probably one of the hardest losses of your life right now.
As of now, yes.
Yeah. Wow.
He was like one of the big homies, not just for me, for my cousin's friends, and all the friends he grew up with. He was like a real big homie, and everybody knew him as like a warrior,
Yeah.
like somebody that would be there for his friends and stuff. You feel me?
Yeah, no, I totally understand that. So, I have two grandmothers. My grandmother that I grew up with, my mother's mother, who influenced a lot of my own person. When she passed, like I said, it was the hardest issue and loss in my life, and I can relate to that. And I'm super excited to hear this song because knowing, as a baby, that was my guardian. My grandmother was my big chunky, who would like look out for me and always make sure I was good. And when she left us, man, it was like, it was a piece of you gone too. But let me ask you, what when it comes to like the beats, I know you're working with audios.
Yeah.
Yeah, and what preference do you have for like your sound?
I like boom bop, chill type of style. I like some acoustics in there. I like to mix things up. One of the songs I did a feature in, which is when I started this year to actually start recording myself and being featured on a song, was Parker All Around the World. It was more like loud bump, heavy music. But usually me, I like the cool beat flows, like MC flows, like the 90s and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then I like to mix it with like now, so you get.
So you hit every vein, like what those classic people like a Joe Dub was looking for. You're gonna have that. So it sounds like you have a nice melting pot of all the different type of genres that people are gonna be listening to.
Yeah, that's what I want to do because it's not just young people, old people. I mean, it's not just young people or old people or like people in mid-30s that listen to music. It's everyone. So you're making music for everyone, You could relate to everyone.
Yeah, and everybody's going to groove to it, so you'll reach you have a bigger net to grab more people, and that's definitely what you want as an artist these days. What would you say are your biggest challenges as an artist today? Because like the old days, it was like, all right, I got my album comes out, I sell millions of copies. Now I'm good. I got my whip, I got my my luxury condo, and but now it's not like that. It's a harder game for somebody to come up. So what would you say with those hurdles that you got to overcome now, aside from the loss?
I would say would be like the biggest thing is connections, because if you don't have really connections, you really wouldn't make it.
Mm-hmm.
But excuse me, I feel like I'm in a good place where I do have enough people to talk to get my word out, and connection goes to getting your word out, because I want to get my word out so it could really help people, so people could relate to it, so people could be like, yo, I understand what he's saying, I understand what he's going through, I understand his emotion through his voice.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of like my biggest challenges right now, and I guess like that's pretty much everyone's biggest challenge.
Yeah. And other than Lost, like what are some of your writing influences? Like what is it when you get sit down to start writing for your next piece? What is something that usually you pull from?
Well, okay. So one of those next songs that I'm making is called Hood Rules,
Mm-hmm.
and basically I'm tackling how people in New York, Detroit, LA, how they feel getting gentrified. You know,
Oh.
yeah, landlords are
Deep.
raising rent for people that lived there their entire life, and it isn't fair because it's not like we don't want to get better jobs. It's just the place we grew up. It's hard for us to basically try to maintain a salary or like try to get the expectation of a from 500 to 2,000.
Yeah, I mean things have changed so drastically and rapidly, especially with gentrification and
Especially.
yeah, and then you're saying you're from Illinois too.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
one of my residents is in Illinois. I'm New York native, but I live in Illinois. Illinois, yeah.
Mix it.
That's where I live.
Yeah.
I live in Illinois with basically my best friend / manager. He's the one who's helping me with the music stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm doing that to be with the other artist. His name is KP Parker. Shout out Parker Gang.
There you go.
I'm doing that to just wake up, listen to music, try to make beats, write things every day, exercise, find my craft, meditate, and find my inner peace, so I could mold myself to be, the best me I could be. Over there, I'm away from other things. Rent is cheaper. I'm able to do more things. I have a lot of good surroundings with me, and
Mm-hmm.
living with another artist is good too, because you get to hear yourself feedbacks, and you get that like little type of competition, not like aggressive competition, but a friendly.
No biggie Tupac.
Yeah. Just more like, yo, let's rap the best, like
Yeah.
like the Wu-Tang Clan.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
uplifting, like help you out. Yeah, the competition that spurs greatness out of somebody.
Yeah.
No, I totally get that. And you're getting to look at two different types of cities that are going through pretty much the same thing, especially in this climate where we're at a huge economic loss. So
Yeah.
I feel like the gentrification process is speeding up right now because of this virus outbreak.
It is, and it's also pausing, because right now no one's being able to pay rent.
Mm-hmm.
So landlords are actually selling their buildings.
Right, that's what I mean. Like my concern as a humanitarian is seeing all these people start to switch ownership, and then somebody that you knew that had a decent relationship with you, the new people that might just come in greedy because the clock is ticking on the stimuluses that the government's given. So when that unemployment check runs out and they're no longer giving you that 600 that made things comfortable enough for you to be in a city like right outside of Chicago, Illinois.
Yeah.
Not really in New York, but like $600 is not going to help. But
Yeah.
it's giving you enough stability to like maintain your music dreams. So, my concern is once that's gone, and because they're not going to really refuel it, and with so many of the changes because of COVID with job losses, there's not that. And it's good that you're doing music because it gives you another avenue to then thrust yourself into and elevate yourself even out of there and bring people up. It sounds like you're not a person that's going to forget people when they arise. So when you're famous, you're going to come back to the Diss Dungeon.
Oh yeah, of course.
And get us some new mics, right?
Oh,
No, quick plug. So I'm excited to hear some of your music.
Can I turn the big knob a little bit?
The big knob, okay. So I'm gonna do a little engineering myself. This is exciting.
Big knob.
The big knob.
See?
Yeah, good.
Keep
All right.
going?
Keep going?
Yeah. That's good.
Okay.
And just play that first track.
All right, so the first track we're going to do is His Law.
This is out on SoundCloud too, so if you guys want to finish.
Yeah, make sure you play. Where will they find you on SoundCloud?
Just type in my name, Luo Llamas.
Spell it out, because you spell it a little different.
Luo and then LLAMAS.
All right.
So Luo Llamas.
Make sure you find him on SoundCloud, Instagram. Where else you at? Like, plug it all, man.
SoundCloud, Instagram for right now, but then soon I'll get Spotify and YouTube and everything else to start going. Google Play too.
All right, perfect. Here we go.
Breeze, it's cold in the streets, and I know you know what I mean, and I know you know what I mean, and I know you know what I mean.
Joe.
Man, so many memories, smoking on my cousin's roof, and many barbecues just after that too. Man, we even tripped on shrooms, and you ended up crashing in my room. Don't think I ever forgot. Yo, we drank so many bottles, getting tipsy. Just had to make sure you didn't get too litty, cause then you would get a little pissy. But that's besides the point I'm trying to make. I still remember the last bottle we drank, a bottle of Japanese whiskey. Tall, ready to ball. For his homies he would not fall. It wasn't just law, it was his law. It was his law, it was his law.
Dope. I can really feel like that, the pain in your voice when you're actually spouting your lyrics too. It's almost like, you know, you're experiencing the issue that led to that point again.
It was.
Do you find that you're doing that?
It was hard to even like to perform it or to even record it. Julian was there, and he saw me like pause every other sentence because I just had to hold it in, and I don't want to like tear down. And like as soon as I recorded it, I sent it to one of his best friends. His name is Richard, and those two reasons. Richard is one of the main reasons I wrote it too, because that's someone he loved too.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was riding in my car, I was just thinking of all the good memories, and I was tearing, and I had to stop. I had to go to the side and just park for a bit to chill, because it's hard, you know, it's hard to lose someone.
Mm-hmm. It took me, I'd say, about 6 months to just stop tearing up when my grandmother passed, because even though I had a lot of the music that I would constantly lean on, like the Soul Cages by Sting. Yes, I know I'm bringing up Sting again, Julian. Don't give me that look. Stop it. But, you know, that spoke about the loss when you're trying to. I spent a lot of my youth trying to get out of my family and trying to do my own thing and just be myself. And their influence allowed me to go out in the world and make great connections with people like I'm making with you today. And it was a great education for me to learn from the way they correlate with people. Just as his Chucky is kind of giving you this protector's outlook, and now you're trying to be a guardian for those listening to your music. You know, it's magnificent. And the Soul Cages, like I said, is an album where people would go out. Actually, one of the songs, it's basically about him trying to get away from his parents and then realizing that the time's up. You know, the parents have gotten older and they're going. You know, and then ultimately his father did die off right during that album. That's why he wrote it. So it's a touching moment, and that kind of helps with a little bit of the pain, but it just took so long for me to like even just stop and reflect and not break down a lot of the time. But the next song, give us a little 411 on that, and then we'll.
I think this is called.
Llama Heist.
Yeah, the Llama Heist. I think I said earlier it was a hood rule, but it's a Llama Heist.
Llama Heist.
Because of what it says, but.
All right. So let's take a listen.
It's the Llama Heist. 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 Rules of the hood, shit ain't ever been chill. Don't think cause you drink the same water that's distilled that you're from the Ville. I never seen blood spill. Stop looking for thrills, Jack. You ain't ill. You too, Jill. Go back over the hill before you get yourself killed. Fuck out of here, for real, bitch. Yo, I'm sick of these hippies and yippies coming to New York and making the rent go flippy. I'm screwing this week and going sippy. Feeling litty, trying to get tipsy, but my girl's trying to calm me down, giving me a get off. But shit ain't nice, cause the rent rise twice in price, like 4 chicken wings and fried rice. I'm a free soda, looking at my cup, it's empty. All I see is ice. Stressed out, I'm about to pull a heist. With me, KB, yo. I say you with me, KB, go. Yo, let's get it. It's a Llama Heist. It's a Llama Heist. It's a Llama Heist.
Look at that touching right into the issues that matter. What the fuck? Why don't we get free sodas with the damn Chinese food anymore? Like, I haven't gotten one in years. Like, even when I was in Mount Vernon, they're like, no, we don't do that anymore. It's like, why? You don't get soda for like 5 cents. What are you doing? Yeah, and then, gentrification is so rampant, man. It's fucking awful. And, there needs to be something that has to be done. I love it. I love the wordplay that you have there. And it just, I can connect to it. And I know by looking at me, you're not thinking, oh, hip-hop? No, not that guy. Because I'm over here in sandals and like tiny shorts, but trust me,
Everybody orders short chicken.
Yeah, exactly.
Jersey
That's
thing,
a staple.
New York thing.
Exactly, it's a Chinese food staple. All right, so our last song, go tell us about it. And
so this one is from Mexicans, immigrants, people from Haiti, immigrants all over the world, even from Asia. And how like hard it is to come to New York, to America, period. And people say you're stealing their jobs and this and that, but it's not true. No one steals no one's jobs. They're picking up peaches and peppers and onions for you in the hot sun and getting paid like 10 cents an hour?
Ridiculous. It's actually the real culprit of job loss is corporations realizing that they can outsource it to other countries outside of the United States and ship it back to the United States cheaper than paying somebody health care. That's why a lot of the times. And they just use it. I feel like immigrants are used as a scapegoat and have been for so long because the corporation wants somebody else to blame, to point that finger at, so that the inner monologue of somebody in the United States is deceived into thinking that it's actually somebody outside coming in and realize, unknowingly, it's the corporations inside tearing us from within. And that's been my true, biggest absolutely. It's been my biggest issue. That's why I don't shop at Amazon.
Oh, definitely. I don't shop at Amazon. I go directly to the source buyer. Yeah. I refuse Amazon or big things like that. Yeah. eBay goes directly to a buyer and seller, so I'm cool with that. Yeah,
if I'm gonna go online, it's eBay, but I'm never going to Amazon. So there goes our Amazon music plug. Wah, wah, wah. Wah, wah. All right, so this is the last track here for this episode.
Stuck here, I'll make it far in this career. I'll show the fear. This finna be my year. Look, I'm tired of 9 to 5s, working overtime for an extra dime. It's like I lose my time, so much of my time. Did I really have to go to school for 4 years? If I still gotta be stuck here. If I still gotta ride a dirty ride and sell on the side, cause minimum wage ain't pride, it don't provide. But I question, should I ever complain? I'm selling love, minimum wage, like the finest of those locked in a cage. You read about it in the page.
Damn. Heavy. Love it. Word. Absolutely. That last song, I love that intro, too. It was that was mixed by you guys?
No, these are not us.
None of these are you guys?
No.
Oh wow.
So, I get my beats on YouTube, but I work with the person directly. This guy is called Alpha something, but he the song on the internet is an extension type beat. I think is a Lose Yourself beat. I gotta say this right though.
No pressure.
But this is a beat that I directly talked to the person and I told them how I want to use it, and he basically said he basically said like he doesn't sell his beats because it means a lot to him. He lost someone, and I told him that I want to use it in a positive way to like lift up my people or like to talk about real issues, because that's the type of songs I want to create and produce so people listen to and relate. And this is a beat that has over like 7 million views on YouTube. And
nice.
I was blessed that the guy liked my work and he liked what I was doing, and he gave me a chance to use this beat. So this is one of the first beats that's going to be on iTunes and Google Play and all platforms because of the help of this person. And it's
like he's your doorway in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
kind of. I mean, all you guys,
Mm-hmm.
we're in this together. So
Absolutely.
we're
Absolutely.
all my doorway in.
Yeah.
Julian's been helping me write songs, day in and day, helping me with my vocals and helping me like progress in this career.
Yep, yep. Hey, man, let me tell you, it takes all of us to get somewhere, and it's not going to be a struggle of one. It's going to be a union of all to take that next step and to elevate us out of the situations that we might not like, but we'll appreciate when we get out of it. So,
Yeah, I get what you're saying. It
Yeah.
feels like I just don't walk for myself because I have people behind me that walk with me to help me better myself. I didn't know how to tie shoelaces. Someone taught me that. I didn't know how to shave. My brother taught me that.
Yeah.
Everything connects to someone helping you.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, this has been an exciting forte into the Disc Dungeon, having you here. I really appreciate it. I'm looking forward to your full album. I'm definitely downloading all of the music on all the interwebs that you have available. And make sure you follow him on Instagram. If you follow our Instagram page, Disc Dungeon, or mine, To Be Seen, or Julian's, Made by Audios, or Julian Valencia _ you're going to find us linking to him. We took a nice little album cover picture. So if you ever wanted me to just be in the background going, yeah, yeah, like probably not that whitely, but I could be on an album cover. That was pretty dope.
Yeah, I'm a single.
Yeah, there you go. I really appreciate you coming in and speaking on your albums, and I really appreciate the share of not only your music but your experiences with loss, and I can relate to, deeply.
We all can,
Yeah, that's going to be probably the biggest catalyst into your next step up. So thank you, my man, and we'll be in touch soon. We're probably going to have you back when you join us all done. And Julian's still going to say bye to you, though. We'll switch. Hey, Julian, welcome back.
Hey guys, I was in the bathroom.
He was dropping one.
I was dropping beats.
So, man, what an experience. I love talking to artists that are coming up, and I especially like ones that are very, very chill. That Lou is definitely a dude I'm going to be making sure I keep in contact with. I still hit up our first guest,
Jay Lerma.
Yeah, I was choking. That's because I didn't bring water, and I'm all doing all this blah, 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 and I'm not.
You're all dried up.
Yeah, I'm all dried up. Oh, I'm old and dried.
Well, guys, this was fun. We have one last segment. This will be a short one.
Tricks of the keys.
Tricks of the keys. Yeah. So this week this is actually a popular one. I don't think it's too obscure,
No.
but it's definitely noteworthy because The Weeknd dropped a song called "I Can't Feel My Face," and when you listen to the song and you hear the intent behind the song, you think, okay, wow, he's talking about this girl and he's feeling really intoxicated by her.
Yeah,
he's so intoxicated that he's numb.
Oh, man.
And if you look at the music video, he turns on fire at some point. So at first glance, you're like, okay, cool. This is just a very passionate love song. When in reality, he's talking about cocaine.
Cocaine.
and then all the pieces fall together because not from personal experience, but I think too much coke has the same effect.
It's something I can't even share with you either because I've never done coke.
I have not done coke before, guys. I don't know if I'm ever going to try.
I don't think so. It's too expensive.
I advocate drugs, but I don't know about coke. But yeah, I mean, it's again, it's a popular one. I think a lot of you out there might already know this, but it's noteworthy because the song itself is so good. And I believe it has some tie into his personal life too, if I'm not mistaken. But those are theories, nothing solid.
And this Tricks of the Keys was actually brought to us by my man Arden Fernandez. He's my Arbin, thank you.
Fernandez.
Arbin.
He tried really hard.
I really did. I was like,
do
I say it like
hard
this?
To get your name right.
And I practiced it earlier too, so I really sorry about that, messing that up too.
He means well.
Yeah, it's all the devil's lettuce from
the devil.
Kind of ruined my short-term memory, but I got my long-term. I swear to God, I'll remember next week when I go into the store and I see you. Like, hey, Arbin, how you doing?
Arbin. Guys, thank you so much for episode 20. For being with us. This is the 20th episode. We've been doing this for probably about 4 or 5 months now, and we're really grateful that you guys have been leaving us comments and giving us likes and sharing the information and talking about it. That's all we can ask for.
Yeah, make sure you subscribe and download the podcast. That also helps. And if you're listening to the podcast, make sure you go over to tobeseen.com and subscribe to the YouTube so you can see us dancing, smiling, and other facial expressions that you might be enjoying, and see how handsome babyface Julian is right now.
with my baby shoes.
With your baby shoes. One last time, kids. All right. Take care. Have a good week, my brother.
You too, guys.
That was a great episode.